Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel and more Birthright here as we continue on with the Rurik expansion. So today we're focusing on the first of the northern territories, and that is the Giantdowns, which really is an expansion within an expansion. They did release a supplement called King of the Giantdowns, which we'll cover at some point later on, which is an absolutely fantastic module slash expansion to really pick up. So definitely, if you're looking to expand your Birthright products and just everything that you have available, pick that one up. Super fun. You can build a whole campaign, multiple campaigns really, around that in and of itself. So the Giantdowns, it is and it isn't a player realm. We'll kind of explain as we go through. Overall considered chaotic neutral. Think of it as just like a it's defined as a territory, but really it's several little mini territories in and of itself, and even those aren't necessarily hard lines on the map, but just for playing purposes it kind of is. Anyway, so the Downs are a rough, hilly region sparsely settled by the Rurik, but also some bandits, gnolls, giants, Foimorians, and other less desirable creatures, but also just some Anawirians as well, actually. So here you can see it, right? Just a huge territory and the sheer number of provinces, and basically everything's unsettled. We do have a couple of level 1 provinces, and that's about as civilized as it gets. And even then, there's like a modicum of law there, but we'll explain that too, and a little bit of temple activity as well in the Emerald Spiral, but again, not much. Certainly no organized guild activity and sources. So what law exists? An alliance of rangers and scouts known as the Watch controls some law in the Giantdowns, working to observe humanoid activities and defend the Rurik inhabitants. The humanoid leader Gurali, which we'll cover in the Anshe series as well, and we do have a model for that they released, controls law in several provinces as well, but is not politically powerful enough to be considered any kind of threat. Beyond these groups, formal law holdings are non-existent except for community and clan. So they do actually give us a nice little bit of artwork for Gurali in here, which the gnolls kind of worship. You can get an idea of what it is. It's like this metallic looking gnoll-like monster. Now the actual model that they released is pretty funky. It's almost like a minotaur, but you can kind of see clearly it's more of a metallic thing. It's got this weird scorpion tail on it as well. But yeah, sufficiently massive for a budding Anshe. Temple activity, the Emerald Spiral maintains groves and circles in the Giantdowns for the service of the few Rurik who live there. The temples are generally well hidden and well defended against the predations of the savage humanoids and dangerous monsters that inhabit the area. Guilds, there's no organized guild activity here, and yeah, that's basically it. It's just not civilized enough and organized enough to really have that. Sources, they're not known to be controlled by any wizards, but there presumably could be, right? Because it's largely unsettled, so a wizard wanting to tap some of these natural energies certainly could. There are no organized formal armies, again, because it's not really a territory. The Watch does have more or less the most potent military component to it, and there's, I think, even a war card for them. Now, Gurali, who's becoming more of a threat, maintains a force of Orogs, ogres, gnolls, and goblins, and again, I think there's even a war card for that. And there's that unit, Gurali's Guards, which is an elite unit. So the important NPCs here to know include druids and local Rurik leaders, as well as chieftains of the various powerful humanoid tribes. So the most powerful druid in the Downs is a woman named Kala, simply just Kala, level 8 priest, solid bloodline, chaotic good, and she commands a number of lesser druids who see to the needs of the Downs' human inhabitants. She's considered very wise, though few can claim to have actually met her. The informal organization known as the Watch does help protect local Rurik groups from humanoid attacks, warn of enemy activities, etc. The Watch's leader is a ranger named Hogren Njalsen, who was originally a soldier in the service of Halskapa. So he came to the Downs seeking peace and some measure of independence. The former has escaped him, right? For he continues to feel the sense of responsibility for his people, but in the Giantdowns, all Rurik are independent in a sense, and so far Hogren is happy with his self-appointed role as the overall protector of the Giantdowns. Now, the most powerful humanoid, as we mentioned, is Gurali, bloodline of Azrai, of course, lawful evil. Again, we'll have a whole separate video on him when we get to that point in the Blood Enemies expansion. But he's said to resemble a great iron statue that speaks with the voice of an Orog. He and his bodyguard of elite hill giants So yeah, just a bodyguard core of hill giants. So if you're going to even attempt to attack him, right, you're going to have to get through all that. But he does lead a powerful coalition of humanoid tribes that periodically raid down from the Silverhead Mountains to threaten the Giantdowns, Rurik, the elves of Luabright, and even the Bloodskull Orogs. Now, recently, these warriors have driven the elves from the provinces of Redar and Caer Quinar, and contested both the White Witch and the Bloodskull Orogs for control of the Barrow Woods. So, so he's making some major moves there, right? And seemingly doesn't care, right, who his enemies are. The elves, even just taking on the White Witch, but also antagonizing the Bloodskull Orogs. So really, no worry of them teaming up. But on the other hand, he's getting more ambitious. Goreli's actual intentions are as mysterious as his origins and true nature. At present, he's barely powerful or influential enough to be considered a regent, but he does display powers which mark him as one of the blood, leading many to suspect that he is in fact a fledgling Anshe. Should this prove true, he could represent a more serious threat to the peace of the region and to nearby kingdoms. The Watch, under its dedicated leader, will have to redouble their efforts to frustrate the humanoids. Now, the Giantdowns, as a description here, right, they're basically just the wild center of Rurik lands, where a handful of hardy farmers, herdsmen, nomads, and other rugged individualists who shun the rulership of the Jarls and the Kings scratch out a precarious living. So, these Rurik must be brave and independent, indeed, because, again, there's really no organization there to just offer general protection, right? So many of the downs themselves are honeycombed with Orog and Goblin tunnels. The surface is home to Gnoll tribes, Foimoirian bands, bandit gangs on the run from justice in Rurik lands and elsewhere, giants, and other just dangerous, intelligent creatures. Monsters such as Loikrata, Ettercaps, trolls, giant centipedes, and burrowing ironkegs infest the Giantdowns as well, making it just a very dangerous place indeed. So, but on the other hand, if players are just up for some fun hack and slash and just want to, do some monster slaying, perfect region for that. And maybe even gain some fame and notoriety and, potential loot as well. So the land itself is forbidding but beautiful. And it's a place of soaring hills, high woods, grassy valleys, and steep gullies, nearly inaccessible to humans. Rurik homes and settlements are almost always isolated, located on windswept hilltops, in small woods, or in hidden valleys. The Rurik here herd flocks of sheep and goats, tend small farmsteads, or wander in the traditional nomad manner. A few engage in other pursuits such as hunting or peat cutting, harvesting the rich organic soil of the marshlands, then cutting and drying it for use as fuel. Now, a handful of druids led by the druidess Hurala also serve the Giantdowns out of love and respect for their people and the wild places that you can find here. Now, they help the Rurik as best as they can with advice, healing, agricultural spells, and have even been known to fight against the humanoids who threaten the Rurik. Now, the Giantdowns are named, of course, for the many giants that dwell here. Most are reclusive bands of hill giants that generally kind of keep to themselves. And they do also shun relations with the Rurik and grow violent if their privacy is breached. Now, other giants are just overtly more hostile, though. The Foimoirian clans are known to live here and prey upon isolated human settlements. These monsters are among the Watch's chief foes. The Silverhead Mountains of the northern Giantdowns are home to a number of mountain giants, and the druidess Kala claims to have spoken with an ancient stone giant who lives near the highest peaks of the Silverhead. So again, a little bit of maybe adventure fuel there. Now, other special conditions, just to wrap up the basics here before we, again, cover the expansion in and of itself. The Giantdowns are usable as a DM or player character realm, although seizing control and pacifying the region could be quite a task, but maybe that's, again, a whole campaign in and of itself. Characters might wish to form a human kingdom out of the realm with the assistance of the local Rurik, who wish for safety in themselves and their families, but again, they're kind of also here because they want so much independence, so starting to force organized civilization on them might also be a problem. We see that over and over again with just the regular Rurik realms as well. Now, alternately, a PC might be rewarded one or more of the Giantdowns provinces for service to an NPC regent. So all possible things, but it's a great little sandbox mini sort of campaign setting within the overall campaign, right? It borders on, again, the Rurik territories, partially Anawir, and not too far from the Gorgon as well. So just all kinds of all kinds of stuff going on here. So we have endless opportunities in here. There's, again, when we get to the expansion proper, and really, again, worth picking up. It's almost like the extra expansion that we didn't necessarily get. It wasn't ever a box set. It's actually just like a softbound book, kind of like this one is here. But there's just so much in there, right? And there's, I think, even a couple of adventures included in there. So there's plenty of opportunity for adventuring, whether it's on the just basic scale, grand adventuring a whole campaign here, maybe, again, even transforming something into its own little realm. Maybe you create a brand new realm out of a province or two here and really just change the sort of regional power landscape. But again, as mentioned, plenty of fuel for adventuring here for the characters, all kinds of monsters to be slain, and really even maybe taking on Gorali, again, which we'll get more into as we go on. So thanks so much for watching, guys. We will see you in the next one. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll continue with more Birthright.